Hello, Adele, and welcome to your past life reading as part of your past life bundle. So this part of the reading is going to explain some backdrop about where you've come from and what you've experienced. And I'm also going to include my past life meditation that will allow you to sort of set the intention to go where you want to see the life for yourself and even possibly get more ideas about other lives. So let's get started. This thing that we are currently looking at, this pie chart cookie sheet thing, is a representation of the script for your life as Adele. Because Adele has been many different names, races, religions, and genders over the course of hundreds or possibly even thousands of years since your soul first came to Earth's atmosphere with the goal of working through several lessons so that you can gain big soul points for when you return to the astral. That way you'd be able to go wherever you wanted to in the multiverse. So with that being said, these black areas in here represent the way that the sky was set up at the time that you were born. And if you would imagine for a second that your baby body was a radio receiver because we're made up of protons, neutrons, and molecules, these are the magnetic energies, the frequencies of the consciousness that entered your body at the time that you take your first breath. So these magnetic energies or this consciousness contains all the information that connects what you did in your past life, what you're meant to do in this life, the gifts that you have, and the lessons you have to overcome. So these energies pulled you along the path of the Capricorn in this life. This is about creating a legacy for you. This is very important because you have a lot of things at 29 degrees, which means this is critical and a lot of things are faded, especially in regards to you having to move or you having to travel or create a business of your own. Like the entrepreneur hat will be worn for you the whole time. Entrepreneur, somebody who is focused on their legacy, worried about their money, trying to develop a name for yourself in the long run. Now, on this path, you have a south node, which represents like a backlight for where you've already been. That is a heavy representation of your past, especially for you, because you have Saturn over here. So we have you at 29 degrees Gemini. This means you have already been a teacher. You have way been beyond being a student, the reader, the speaker, the talker, the communicator, the person who stayed home or stayed local to their family in order to help their family is very heavy here as far as your backlight. In this life, the light you're meant to take, the path that's more uncomfortable, is the one that takes you outside of your family to develop a belief system for yourself that will eventually lead to the business that you're meant to have doing something cool, something probably totally unexpected. So, because this is your past life reading, let's get to all of those little things that bring these pieces together for you for what you've dealt with before. First and foremost, your relationship with your mom. That's connected to a very karmic relationship. It has something to do with you learning, very possibly. You may have been the mom last time. And in this life, you have switched roles so that you can learn more about communication in a parental way. But it's also helped you with your own natural expression in the way that you are able to connect your mind in a childlike way. Let's say that. Um, this 12th house is the house of your past life stuff. You are actually headed towards reaping the rewards of your past life with this one. At some point, you may have been a college professor. Other times, you may have been a spiritual guru or a traveler, somebody who's going out into the world and sort of taking the reins, right? You might have also been somebody who was extremely indoctrinated in religion at other times. Because keep in mind, this has been like hundreds of lives. And you've tried all the hats with your goal being for you to go back out to the collective and bring back something that is going to inspire them as well, right? Now, here you have your Venus, which means that your relationships, any romantic relationships that you've had in this life, have been attached to the fact that you came to create a business. This could possibly mean sometimes you date and you only date somebody who is in a position to make your life better, so to speak. And that's backed up by the fact that your Lilith is here. But keep in mind, if you have something left over here in this 12th house of your past life, it's because the last life that was not done. In the last life, you could have very possibly been the person who was taken advantage of in a financial way. And I say that because of this Capricorn in 12. Usually that means the more money, the more problems. It was a burden. I don't know if you've felt that this life, but you did in the last life. Absolutely. When you were not an adventurer, because you have two energies here, which means there are two main lives or two sets of goals that you still felt like you did not knock out, with this being such an important mission for you to take something back that you have learned from Earth, essentially, right? So with this Lilith here, this means at some point you may have been taken advantage of by a female for your money. Also very likely that you ended up alone um, with this setup here. That's why in this life you got this Saturn and Cancer, which means that you were sort of bound to a family, um, a difficult family in some ways, possibly. It looks like the difficulty could have been in the area you grew up, or maybe if you had younger siblings, those people around you, right, were mainly a replication of the person that you used to be. I know that may sound weird, but that's exactly what it is with that whole Aries thing going on there. The next area I want to look at for you is the eighth house. The eighth house is the house of anything that is left over that sort of needed to be redone, right? Reconstructed, so to speak. Now, for you, you have Pluto here. That means, once again, that something about your relationship, your partnerships, your marriage connected to your Venus, all your relationships are tied to your karma, and you balancing out. For you, you would have to sort of kind of get your career together before your love life would go like you wanted it to in some ways. You have this vertex, which is karmic and is part of fortune, which gave you a sprinkle in your marriage and your partnerships, because something about your partner would help inspire your communication, which is directly connected to your emotional ripple with your childhood, your childlike self that needs to be shared, because that is the first step you take in order for you to start moving towards knowing that you are the storyteller, you are the optimist, you are the person here to inspire other people in this life. And that is sort of kind of how you will make your money and how you'll be known karmically. This Neptune, which is the last piece on here that relates to your past life and your karma, um, is once again you traveling. This requires you to get at least 2 hours or more away from your family before you start to see the fruits of your labor, because the people who are destined to be your followers, essentially, because this is the house of your fans and stuff, the people who are going to really believe in what you're teaching are not like around you. They're not where you're from at all. Everything that happens to you in your local area is meant for you to move and go out, because you are going to be somebody who is sort of a light bringer for groups of people who did not know that there was a possibility for life. Your partnerships literally transform you every time to move you towards this. This was a dope past life reading. So I'm going to send this to you along with the, what is it? The regression. I'm trying to figure out the word. Sometimes I say meditation. But the regression visualization that will allow you to use it multiple times to see these lives. Remember, you're going to be looking for a life as an adventurer, a life where you were controlled by religion, a life where you possibly created a religion, then a life where you were a gold digger, and now this life where you are the person who's going to sort of be making the money. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Adele.